Today, I'm at the Bartley Ranch Park, where the past really comes alive. I mean, you can touch it, you can smell it, and today you're gonna be able to taste it, because we're gonna be cooking up some traditional Dutch oven recipes, and I have with me the world-famous Dutch Diva, along with Dennis Golden, Dutch oven extraordinaire and former cast member from old Outdoor Nevada seasons. Oh, this is gonna be great. Let's go see what's cooking. Bartley Ranch preserves Reno's historic past on its 56 acres of trails, picnic areas, and horse arenas. The perfect setting for some history of our own. Okay, big day for me. You gotta just give me a moment of celebration because I am with my old friend, Terry Bell, the Dutch Diva. Nice to see you.
Great to see you, John. Welcome back to Reno.
You been good?
Oh yeah, everything's great.
Okay, and also Dennis Golden, a man I've wanted to meet for a long time. Nice seeing you, sir.
Nice to meet you, John. It's been a pleasure.
Now, I know we're gonna be working with the Dutch ovens today. We already got the coals going. What is your specialty today?
So today I'm going to make some of the famous Bell sourdough bread, and we're going to finish it off with a fresh peach pie and whipped cream.
I knew I could count on it. You can always count on her. What do you got going today?
We're going to do the main dish today, John. It's a Cornish game hen, and we'll surround those game hens while they're cooking with fresh veggies.
Perfect. Now, normally I would say women first, but you got the main meal, so we're gonna head this way.
Okay, you guys go for it.
All right, check in with you in a second.
Okay.
See what you got, Dennis. Dennis Golden grew up watching his father cook with Dutch ovens. He then found a new passion for it while hosting Outdoor Nevada back in the 90s. Okay, Dennis, now let's start with the basics. Coals, how many do you use?
Okay, unlike Terry, I like to count the number of coals that I put on the stove. So I have 12 coals here, and we're going to put it. We have a 14-inch Dutch oven.
Okay.
And for approximately a 350 oven, we put 12 under there, and I'll put 16 on top.
Now, before you do that, can we take a look inside and see what you got going here?
Yeah.
Oh, those are beautiful. We start by filling these Cornish game hens with apples, celery, and onions. Then we add some seasoning. And then you surround it with veggies.
We do.
You got favorite veggies you like to use?
Well, you know, you can use almost any kind of vegetables, but I like a little broccoli, cauliflower. Here I've got carrots in here, and little potatoes. Some of these weren't small enough, so we've cut them up a bit. Makes a nice, colorful dish.
Colorful, yeah.
John, before we put the rest of the veggies in there, we have a glaze that we're going to want to put on these birds, and that's 1 part vegetable oil, corn syrup, and chicken broth.
And you're just glazing that on there.
Right.
Are you going to reapply that during the...
Yes, we are.
Okay. The glaze adds a new flair to the hens. It gives it a golden crust and an extra layer of flavor. While Dennis works on the hens, I check back with Terry. Okay, Dutch Diva, we got the main course under control. What's going on here?
So we're going to make some sourdough bread today, John. This is going to be a great complement to Dennis's meal. You know, he's got all those great juices in there. We'll make a nice crusty sourdough bread that you can sop up some of that delicious juice with. And this is going back to our sourdough start that's been handed down in the Bell family for over 140 years.
A primary ingredient in sourdough, the start becomes more flavorful with time, so many families keep it going for generations.
So you take your sourdough start, and I will add a little bit of baking soda, a little bit of baking powder, and some flour. And in this one, I decided to use some fresh rosemary. So I just took some fresh rosemary and chopped it up and worked it into the batter. So you can see that this is just a soft dough consistency. So I've been letting this sit out just to rest a little bit, as you want to let your dough do. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to let you make a choice. Would you like to have little mini rolls, or would you like to have one loaf? Decisions.
I'm going one loaf because I like the idea of sharing it.
Of the crusty, yeah, and the crusty loaf. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So now we're going to take my signature product, you know, butter flavored Crisco.
One of your favorites.
Sorry, but I like the butter flavored Crisco. Might not be the healthiest option, but you know, it works for me. It adds flavor to the food. It helps my oven stay seasoned, which is that nice patina that's on the inside of the oven, and keeps them from getting dry. And of course, keeps my food from sticking.
Well, that's a good excuse, you know, using butter lard like that to keep
butter lard, yeah, I know, I hate that word lard, but that's really what it is.
But it keeps everything in good condition.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna kind of flatten it in there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the lid on this and I'm gonna let it sit here in the nice warm sun because it'll actually let this rise a little bit before I put the coals on it to start baking.
So for now, that's all you do.
So for now, that's all I'm gonna do. Put the top on, let it rise a little bit, and then we'll put some charcoal on it and let it bake.
And how long do you let it bake?
This will probably take about 45 minutes.
Okay.
While Terry has the sourdough under control, Dennis adds more glaze to the hens.
Okay, we're gonna put a little bit of more glaze on here, and maybe we could put you to work if you would.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just wow. Oh, put more than that on here.
Boy, I just don't want to mess it up. It is beautiful, and the steam's coming off. How's that? Looking good?
Yeah.
Glazing the hens a few times keeps them moist and the veggies packed with flavor. You know what they say about too many cooks in the kitchen. In this case, are there too many Outdoor Nevada hosts in one show?
Now, I got to ask you, for you folks who recognize him, Outdoor Nevada, founding father right here, on the show many times back in the day. Give me a story about being on the show back then.
We tried to combine on one show where we would do a Dutch oven segment and also do a whitewater segment on the Carson River. So I got some of my friends with their boats, and the idea was we would float down to Carson, camp out that night, and cook a Dutch oven meal for the crew, and then float out the next day. So it got off to a really bad start when my friend who had our charcoal bag on his boat flipped his boat. And so we had mush instead of charcoal briquettes by the time we got to camp, and no way we're gonna do this. So I sent everybody out, gather wood. We're gonna do it the old-fashioned way, you know? So they went out and gathered wood from juniper branches to sagebrush to whatever, and we used that for the bottom of our fire.
Thank you for telling them that this isn't always easy. A guy like this makes it look easy. It's not always easy. Thank you.
Well, that day it was a little more difficult.
By the way, what's with the apron?
Well, this is the apron that I wore on Outdoor Nevada, and primary reason was we had this saying, "Let's go Dutch." And so that was kind of our tagline for the show.
Dennis chose to film a Dutch oven story for his Outdoor Nevada audition. The idea not only gave him the job, but it also inspired over 50 Dutch oven recipes for the show.
We can already start to smell this, and that's one of the things about Dutch oven cooking that you come to understand is once you can smell it, it's usually done. Oh yeah, that's looking great.
You know what I'm thinking about right now?
What?
Guess.
Something sweet
Award-winning.
and decadent.
And award-winning.
Yes, so we're doing an award-winning peach pie today.
Let's go.
Okay.
Terry's peach pie qualified for the World Championships in a Dutch oven cooking competition, so you know this will be good.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, my favorite station.
Dessert.
What are we doing?
So we're gonna make a fresh peach pie. So this is something I've done in competition, actually qualified to go to the World Championships with this recipe. So this is really a dynamite recipe. Not only does it taste good, but it's a beautiful presentation.
Go,
So I think
go,
you'll
just
really
go.
like it.
What do you
So
got?
we're gonna start with some fresh peaches. I've already peeled those and pitted them and sliced them up. So we have some beautiful fresh peaches there. Gonna add a little bit of sugar, although these are so sweet. And you can see that I'm really into measuring. So a little bit of that.
Do you like making the sourdough bread or the dessert better?
Oh,
Tough one.
that's a tough one because I just love baking. So I like doing the bread because there's so many different combinations and flavors that you can put in the bread.
Terry's recipe calls for a dash of cinnamon, ground cloves, and nutmeg.
It is an art. It's an art form, what you're
Yeah,
doing.
and you kind of learn what tastes good, you know, and you learn what you want to include, what you don't. We're going to put a little bit of flour in this too, because with fresh fruit, it does get a little bit juicy and sometimes needs something to keep it thick.
Oh, interesting.
So why don't you take a spoon
Okay.
and mix all that up.
Okay.
An award-winning pie needs to have a dough made from scratch.
So this is a very sticky dough, so I really want to make sure I flour it well.
Okay.
And we're going to take our rolling pin, start rolling it out.
And you made the dough this morning?
Yeah, I went ahead and did that early. I made it when we got here.
Oh, okay. You just whipped it
And
up.
it's just a simple pie crust with some flour, salt, butter, shortening. It has some vinegar in it, some white vinegar.
The Dutch Diva has an unconventional pie tin for her peach pie.
So this is the top of a Dutch oven, but it has, you can see it's fairly deep. So it makes for a nice pie. So I'm gonna set this in there, and what we're gonna do is when we bake it, we're gonna invert that oven on top and put the coals.
Brilliant.
And bake it like that.
Brilliant.
So it's very, very different and somewhat unique.
That's
Now,
what I
this
mean
pie
about,
crust-
I know you're having fun, but there's an artistry because you're constantly improvising.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna press it into the sides. Make sure I've got dough going up the sides. So let's go ahead and put our peaches in there. You
Really?
can just dump the whole thing in there. You can just dump it.
Just dump it. All right.
And then we'll move them around a little bit.
To top it off, Terry weaves the pie crust into an award-worthy lattice design.
So this is where
Oh,
kind
you're
of
doing
the
a cross
artistic.
pattern.
Yeah,
That's advanced.
yeah, this is advanced pie crust.
Do you find this to be an important tradition to be handed down in terms of Nevada?
I think so, because Nevada has such a great Western heritage and mining heritage, and those were two of the places where Dutch oven cooking was so popular, and the ranching and the immigrant trail. All of those things are important, so I think Nevada is a perfect place to keep this going.
Speaks to Nevada history.
In the mid-1800s, pioneers started trekking out west in search of gold. Many settled in northern Nevada, where they depended on their Dutch ovens to feed their families.
Okay, we're gonna set that right there on our trivet. I've got some coals laid down. Nice.
That is not light. You do have to be careful.
No, you do have to be careful with that. And this is tricky because the oven's inverted. So what we're gonna do now is just put a whole bunch of coals on top. Normally, I wouldn't put as much heavy coals on top, but keep in mind, I have to get the heat traveling all the way down to this pie.
Okay, so we got the bread going, we got the main course going, we got the dessert
The
going.
dessert going.
Now it's
Yep.
all just about visiting and having a good time with each other.
Sounds good.
While the Dutch ovens work their magic, we get to enjoy each other's company in the outdoors. Another great treat of Dutch oven cooking. And soon enough, Bartley Ranch starts smelling savory, and we know it's time for lunch. Worth the wait.
As you can see, we are not fooling around here. This is a beautiful meal done by two experts, and I can't thank you enough for spending this day with us.
Oh, thank you. Our pleasure.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
been
you,
a lot
guys.
of fun, John. Really has been.
You had a big saying back in the day on Outdoor Nevada. It was,
Next time, go Dutch.
next time, go Dutch. Bon appetit.